So I will shortly turn over to Dr. Paik Hak-sun, the president of Sejong Institute, to make closing remarks. Before I do that, again, I want to thank the Sejong Institute and the Ministry of Unification for collaborating with us on this event. I also want to thank my colleague Paul Lee, who helped us put this event together. It's very excellent work. So thank you so much, and Dr. Paik.
Ladies and gentlemen, it suddenly feels that it's just the beginning of the this conference. I feel it's just like a morning session. You know why? In Seoul it is what time now? Maybe in the morning. Anyway, it's time to say goodbye, and I know what you're thinking of about my closing remarks. The sooner the shorter the better. But I'd like to make two quick observations. Number one, I hope Americans here in particular have to understand why Koreans are working so hard for peace on the Korean Peninsula. You might remember what happened in 2017. North Korea, test-fired, hydrogen bomb, and also, ICBM. They demonstrated ICBM capabilities, and there are, all kinds of discussions on how to respond by the Americans, and so military option and blood nose. But I think Americans have come to conclusion that the military option doesn't resolve the crisis. So they came to Singapore for diplomatic resolution. But more importantly, when there is, egregious heightened threat of war, not simple threat of war, the threat of a nuclear war on the Korean Peninsula toward the end of 2017 and the first and second day of 2018, Kim Jong-un said publicly, "I have a nuclear button on my desk in my office." And Donald Trump responded by twittering that I have much bigger and more powerful one, and it works. And so at that moment, we Koreans were really shocked and frustrated. Oh my gosh, political leaders are talking about nuclear weapons just like children's plaything. So enough is enough, never again. We have to deal with the fundamental root cause of the Korean problem. That was the instantaneously formed consensus among Koreans at that moment. I think that still is there among Koreans. I don't think it will go away. And so, we have tried to dismantle the Cold War structure and settle peace. That's what we are striving for. And we also wanted to, make a departure from our identity of so-called war and conflict. And we want to change our identity into that of peace. And then, person-to-person relationship, our way of thinking, our way of living, and all those things will change fundamentally. So I personally call it great transformation taking place in Korean Peninsula. I don't think, even though we negotiations, have stalled, and we have all kinds of, struggles, fight between so-called, the status quo forces and the revisionist forces within and between the countries involved, just like any big change in history. And but I don't think this will necessarily make us to say that the great transformation taking place in Korean Peninsula has come to an end. I don't think so. Geography does not change. We have to have a more longer perspective. That's the first point I wanted to make. And the other observation is this. All presentations and discussions, in my opinion, in a sense, have fallen within the purview of so what our priorities are, what our really top priorities are, and what really we are doing to achieve those priorities, to realize those priorities. I would say that our top priority is to denuclearize North Korea, the whole Korean Peninsula, and dismantle North Korea's ballistic missile ICBM capabilities. But North Koreans say would characterize this negotiation as a negotiation for bringing the United States, into their strategic design, where they could use America as a counterforce to China. Professor Jung is sitting there, but he may not like this. But that's something they have tried to achieve in the mind of North Korean leaders, as long as I try to figure it out. And also, this is a negotiation for ending the Korean War, signing a peace treaty, and normalize the relationship with the United States, and economically cooperative between the two, and so that they could come out into the world and survive and develop, so-called, for the 21st century. So, and also, this is commonsensical thing, but I would just say that this negotiation, this whole negotiation is designed for denuclearizing North Korea, to dismantle North Korea's ballistic missile capabilities, particularly that of ICBM. Not American, not to denuclearize America, not to dismantle America's ballistic missile capabilities. And then I feel, honestly enough, as a North Korea watcher and as a scholar who tried to deal with this nuclear issue and ballistic missile issue and all these security issues, I would say Americans can do more in order to prevent North Korea from, ultimately developing nuclear-tipped ICBM capabilities. That's something I want to say to all of you. Thank you so much. And Frank and USIP, our co-host institution, and thank you for Unification Ministry of Republic of Korea, and all the panelists and audience, particularly the panelists who came across the Pacific, Chairman Beck and other panelists. And also Americans, participants and panelists and audience who came across the town. Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope, Frank, we will continue our cooperation between our two institutions. Thank you all very much.